Hi, beautiful singers. This is Valerie White-Williams with Vocal Splendor Studios, and I am back to talk about another vocal myth. Today's myth isn't exactly a myth, but it is something that a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about. And today's topic is, how do I sing from the diaphragm? The diaphragm is something a lot of singers talk about. Most people here in choir sing from the diaphragm, speak from the diaphragm, use your diaphragm. But I found in my years of teaching that very few people really know what the diaphragm is. It's something that is talked about, but no one really knows what it is. No one's really seen it. I kind of like to think of the diaphragm as like a unicorn. We've heard about it, but what is it? Here's the deal about the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a breathing muscle, and it's a muscle that sits at the base of our rib cage. So I invite you to go ahead and feel where your rib cage is. Mine comes down really far. It comes up here, comes all the way down like that. Okay, the diaphragm sits inside that rib cage, kind of like this. I like to think of it as like a trampoline. You know how trampoline has those rings and it's all attached around the trampoline and it moves up and down? It's kind of like what our diaphragm is, except it's all around our rib cage. It goes all the way around the front and the back, and it sits like this, like my hands are like this. Now, when we take that big breath, this is what it does. It goes like this. It contracts and makes our ribs stick out. And then when we breathe out, it typically does this. It releases, and the diaphragm goes from here to this. The concept of breathing in the belly, our breath does not go in the belly, but everything that it pushes down goes in the belly. So learning to control or be aware of the diaphragm is one of the most important things that singers need to do. Now, I use the word control, and that's not really quite how the diaphragm works, because the problem with the diaphragm is it completely within our body. We can't consciously control it, and we really can't feel it move. But what we can feel is the results of the diaphragm contracting. We feel that when we inhale, and we feel it release. Putting your hands on the rib cage is a great way to begin this. Now, I don't recommend you doing this when you perform, okay? Don't do it. I've seen people do it, and it always looks really silly. However, when you're first learning the breathing, put your hands on your rib cage, because what we're trying to learn is how to manage that breath and how to inhale and exhale. Now, a lot of people talk about the diaphragm and using the diaphragm, and the only thing they talk about is taking that big, deep breath. And that's really important. That's how we activate the diaphragm. That's how we get it to go down. But the real control in singing is not that. The real control of singing is how we slowly taper off the breath. Because remember I showed you, we're going to take a big breath. And if I hold it, my ribs are really strong. But when I let it go, my ribs collapse. Boom, my breath is gone. And when we sing, we don't want our breath to be gone. We want to taper it out slowly. So what we need to learn to cultivate is that feeling of holding our breath in our rib cage and tapering it out slowly. Or actually using a bunch of breath and pushing it out forcefully. Like that. What we're doing now, instead of breathing in, contracting our diaphragm, breathing out, letting go of the diaphragm. Meanwhile, the abs are blowing the air out. Our diaphragm is not going to just let go and let the abs push out the air. The diaphragm is going to push down, stay down. The way we do that is by being aware of this feeling in our rib cage and resisting the air. It's kind of like a dam. How we use people use dams to generate power. They hold back water, let a little bit out, and by holding back the water, they generate power. So when we hold back our breath by using our diaphragm and keeping it down, meanwhile, we're breathing out, we're generating power. And generating that power is how we do all the fancy things that singers do, like high notes and hold long notes and lots of power and strength. That comes from getting in touch with the power. Okay, so we're going to have this diaphragm. It's going to go down. Take a big inhale. Going to hold it. Now, instead of breathing it out, I'm going to taper it out. I'm going to use the S sound. I could use other similar kinds of sounds. You could use a Z. Zzz. If you notice, as we make that sound, you're going to feel really strong in your rib cage. Another place to feel is right here. The solar plexus, where it's squishy, below the rib cage. You're going to feel strong. That strong feeling is what I use to sing. That's how I get those high notes. But your body has to remember how to use this. Now, here's the ironic thing. People think, oh, I need to learn how to sing from the diaphragm. Okay, we don't have a mouth here. We don't sing from the diaphragm, but we learn to control the air. Now, here's the other thing. Your body already knows how to do this. This is not a new thing. You don't have to learn how to play the piano, blow a horn. Your body does this all the time. You're just not aware of it and consciously using it. Let me show you. When you cough, you're going to feel that same pulsing, pushing feeling in the rib cage. Ha ha ha, ha. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Okay, we're also going to feel that same pushing in the rib cage. So what we want to do is become aware of that feeling. How does it feel? To first of all, inhale. Feel firm and strong. Exhale. Feel the collapse. What we want is no collapsing. We want to hold it strong. So we're going to do alternate with now strong ribs. And then you can go ya, ha, ha, ha. Concentrate on the feeling. Then the next thing we work on is singing it. Ya, ha, ha, ha. Strong feeling in the ribs. We're trying to learn to feel that pulse or that inner fist in the rib cage, which again is resisting the air. It's creating more air pressure. And it's the air pressure that helps us sing, not the breath, the pressure. We want to control the pressure. One more thing about that, different vocal styles require more of that breath energy. Some vocal styles are really relaxed and chill, some jazz, Nora Jones, someone breathy, come away with me into the night. Okay, that's a really breathy sound. We don't quite need that. A real breathy sound is just not going to require as much breath energy. Anytime the chords have breath, doesn't require a lot of breath energy. In fact, sometimes breathiness happens when there's not enough breath energy behind the chord, especially on people's high notes. They get not enough breath versus breath energy helps the chords also function in a better way. So the breath energy is really important. Again, some vocal styles don't require a lot of breath energy. Singing a lullaby, you don't need to work as hard. You're not projecting that voice. Where other vocal styles like opera and especially hard rock, those styles are high compression, lots of energy. If you don't have the breathing down, you probably won't be able to sing those vocal styles because they require you have them breathing all together. But that said, even other types of singers, once you learn that breath, then you know how to access those high notes, how to power them. When you can power them from the breath, then you don't have to resort to other habits like or hopefully you don't do that. But I have seen many straining and pushing and pulling up here because it's not where it needs to be. Really good singers make it look easy because their breath is under the control and they're strong in the rib cage and are feeling that strength. So practice those hisses. That's what I make all my students do. Practice with the short ones, pulsing, and the long. Get used to how that feels. Watch more videos about breathing. Take a look at the other videos that I favorited in my vocal technique page. They will show you some 3D ideas and other people talking about how the breath works. It's very important that you learn this. I will probably talk about it again. But anyway, good luck. This is it for today, and I will see you next time. Bye.